Hi, everyone. All right. Facebook is telling us we're live. Good news. Let's see if we're actually live. We can never fully trust Facebook. So let's get settled here. See if you're able to see me and hear me, it looks like we've got some eyeballs. I see someone already knows. I got a like on this video. If you can see and hear me, will you either drop an emoji into the comments or like this video to let me know we're coming through okay on this Friday? Facebook is always a little bit delayed, even letting me know what you're doing. Amazing. Thank you. Hi, Lori from Bowling Green, just north of me here in Nashville. Happy Friday to you guys. Really happy that you're here. If you're joining me live, thank you, Chris. Please say hello in the comments. Let me know where you're joining from. We're talking today about the pages of your website that you need and the pages of your website that you don't need. We go through this process with our done for you clients. Multiple times a week. We're kicking off with clients at least once or twice a week. And so we get to walk through this with them. And so I want to walk you through, how many times can I say walk through? The process that we go through and sort of the thoughts I want you to be thinking on in order to determine what your website should actually be focused on, and all the pages of your website, what should those topics be, and what should you be covering, and what should you be writing about. So that's what we're talking about today. If this is your first time joining us, we're over 17,000 therapists strong. Can you believe that? That's so many incredible people here in this group. If this is your first training catching one of these, I'm Anna. I'm really, really happy that you're here. I have the privilege of leading this community. I think it's one of the best places on the internet. I hope you find it incredibly helpful. I've seen so many great discussions, for instance, happening to this week, people asking for feedback on their website and their site today. Our group members have incredible insight and feedback, in addition to hopefully myself as well. But the goal is that we're really cultivating a community of marketing minded people. But what we're about here isn't just marketing. It isn't just, getting clients. It's actually getting clients in a way that feels good to you. So we're all about being equal parts authentic, so that it's true to you and you feel good about your marketing, and effective, because hello, I want you to actually get the client. So that's what we're all about around here. And like I said, today we're talking about outlining a client converting site, as the dogs come in and make their their homes here as they nap through this training. So really good to see you guys. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Nish. Joining us from Vancouver. Lane from New Jersey. Hello, hello. Good to see all of you guys. If you're here live and you have questions, drop those into the comments. We always wrap up these trainings by addressing questions you might have. If you're catching the replay, that's great too. People come back and watch these replays weeks, months, and even years later. Drop a hashtag replay into the comments to let me know that you're watching. And then if you have questions, I'll be notified and we can come back and keep chatting about this. So my goal is that this is a really actionable and tangible training for you. All right, that's our intro. Let's get into this. Now, we're talking about the pages of your site that you do and don't need. This implies that, yes, you need a multi-page website. We're going to start there. Your website needs to have multiple pages. This is one of the reasons we strongly don't recommend the Simple Practice website extension. Now, if that's better than nothing, absolutely. And if that's what you need to just get something out into the world, I celebrate that. But when it comes to ranking on Google and truly, truly connecting with your ideal clients, we just can't do that on a single page. Single page websites will, I think I can say this pretty confidently, in general, they will not rank on Google. And you're going to have a hard time, especially if you're a full fee clinician, really deeply connecting enough with your clients on a single page. So That is assumed as part of this training that you are going ahead and building or already have a multi-page website. Now, any of the big website platforms out there, Squarespace being our favorite, WordPress, Wix, all of those have the capability for multiple pages. So if you're building on one of those, you're in great shape. You're at a great starting point. But that's really important to know. Sometimes I'll sit down with a clinician who says, I'm happy with my practice, but I'm wanting to take it to the next level. I say, great, what's your website? I go to it and it's just one page. And I say, this is already room for opportunity, both in a like marketing effectiveness realm and also in an SEO realm. So multiple pages, we got to have those. Now, I want you to imagine your website. If it doesn't exist yet, go ahead and imagine what it could be. If you have a website, go ahead and imagine that. And I want you to imagine the navigation bar at the top. So that's that menu where you access all the different pages. Your base menu should include home, about, FAQs, specialties, contact. That is the like base. That's what we build all of our strategies off of, because those are the core categories of the menu. So your homepage, everyone has a homepage, right? Even if you have a single page website, it's just the home. Your homepage is your launching pad into the rest of your website. When I land on your homepage, I should immediately know where you're located, what you do, and who you do it for. Literally in seconds, I should be able to know that. If you've been around here before, you've probably caught some of our homepage trainings. There are some of them in the group. Go ahead and search homepage in the group if you need some help there. But your homepage is your chance to immediately let someone know if they're in the right place, and then to get them to whatever information on your website they need to realize that you are the therapist for them. So we are going to offer an avenue from this homepage to basically every other page of your website, at least every other core page of your website. There's going to be an opportunity from the homepage to go to your about page. There's going to be an opportunity from your homepage to go to your specialty pages. There's going to be an opportunity to go straight to contact, because I don't need any convincing I'm ready to work with you. Maybe I visited your website 3 times, homepage, contact. So your homepage is your launching pad to get people deeper into the website. We got to have the homepage, and there is a serious strategy behind it. I think one of our most popular trainings here in the group is the 5 secrets of a client converting homepage. Type that into the search bar in the group. You'll find it. Really, really great actionable guidance specific to your homepage. But we got to have one of those. That's our first page in that menu, right? Then your about page. Now, I have read hundreds, maybe thousands, but certainly confidently hundreds of about pages for clinicians. Your about page, despite the name, is not about you. Sorry. It is about your clients and what it's like to work with you. So your chance on the about page is to, 1, set expectations about what it's like to work with you. Guess what? There is something you offer that other clinicians don't. There is a reason you do incredible work with the right clients. The about page is your chance to share that. Your about page is your chance to share that. What is it like to work with you? What's it like to be in the room with you? That might be tangible, tactical structure of your sessions. That might be abstract, just what it's like to be in a relationship with you. Whatever that looks like, and it's probably a combination of those things. Your about page is your chance to flesh that out. Your about page is also the place that you are primarily going to be cultivating trust with your client. Again, what is it that you bring to the table that the other clinicians they're looking at maybe don't? Why do clients trust you? Why do you do such effective work with the right clients? It's your chance to set expectations and to cultivate that trust with people. So this is not the page where you are just going to talk about your trainings, what you're passionate about, and have a link to your resume. I've literally had clinicians link to their CV or even copy and paste their CV onto the about page. I'm not going to choose you because of what your CV says. I'm going to choose you because you tell me and show me and display that you understand me. I'm going to choose you because you are letting me know what it's going to be like to work with you. And it absolutely aligns with what I'm looking for in a therapist. I'm going to choose you because you share your core values and they align with my core values. That's what we do on an about page. So it's this really, really rich opportunity to cultivate connection with your client and relationship before they even reach out to you. So often that like, hi, I know you're the therapist for me, let's get going. If you haven't had that yet, that's what we want to see happen. That is often due to copy on the about page because it's just so conversational and so focused on connection. That's what happens in your about page. So we have your home and your about. Okay. Then I mentioned FAQs. I highly recommend having what we call a general FAQ page on your website. This is your opportunity to answer frequently asked questions, right? This is your place to put your fees. Yes, you need your fees. I will die on that hill all day long on your website. This is your chance to share whether or not you take insurance, whether or not you see people in person, what your cancellation policy is. This is where you might place your good faith estimate. The FAQs is the place where someone's going to go likely after they've read some of the other stuff. So I read the about page. I'm really connecting with you. I jump over to the FAQs to just kind of check the final boxes. And then I decide to reach out. So FAQs are this really interesting page because it's where someone's going to land when they're what we call warm. They're on the edge, right? Of reaching out to you. They're on the cusp. We've got to give them the information they need to get on or off the fence. Now, I have heard people say, and we could have a whole training just on fees on your website, but I've heard people say, well, I don't want to scare people off with my fees. Would you rather get on the phone with someone just so they can ask you what your fees are and then they say, I can't afford that? Absolutely not. Including your fees, including this type of information increases transparency, which cultivates trust and ensures that you are hearing more often from right fit people. This is their chance to qualify themselves for either working with you or not working with you. We've got to have that information, that kind of logistical housekeeping information on your website. And we recommend placing that in your FAQs. Now, notice FAQs is separate. Sometimes I'll land on a homepage and it has the FAQs. We don't need to be putting your fees on your homepage. Your homepage serves a different purpose. So the FAQs should be a dedicated page of your website. So home about FAQs, specialties, that's where we're going to spend most of the rest of this training. So we're going to skip over it and come back. Then there's the contact page. Every website needs a contact page. You may choose to lead directly to like your simple practice or your other self-scheduling tool to get on your calendar for a consultation, and that's perfectly fine. It's still best practice to have a contact form on your website. This contact page should be so simple and so actionable and so clear that I have zero questions. I could do it with my eyes closed. It needs to be simple. This has to be so just simple and clear. Like if you imagine someone, they start at the top of a mountain, right? And they need to get to the bottom in order to work with you. We need to grease that slide. We need to make that descent down into working with you as easy as possible. And sometimes I'll land on a contact page that has like pictures of the clinician and all of this information, and the form is like this long. That is a bumpy road down to the bottom, and people are more likely to stop. If I have reached the contact page, we were talking about how when I'm on the FAQ, I'm warm. If I'm on the contact page, I'm hot. I'm hot. If I've decided to get to your contact page, I'm about to reach out to you. Please make it as easy as possible to reach out to you. So ask whatever information you need in order to screen this person appropriately. You don't have to not ask anything, but we want to ask as few questions as possible to get you the information you need. We want a quick blurb about what they can expect. Please complete this form and I will be back in touch with you within 1 business day. Double check your spam if you don't hear from me. Whatever that needs to be. Again, quick, short, actionable. Keep this page focused on here's the form, press submit. Here's the form, press submit. That's what we want to see happen on the contact page. No fluff. No fluff. That's what happens on the contact page. All right, now we're going to get into specialties. And this is where there's a couple sort of exercises that you can be thinking on here. One thing this training was called pages you need on your website and pages you don't need. One of the pages I see way too often that I wish I could just scrap for lots of clinicians is a services page. And I go to the services page and it is a long bulleted list of all of the presenting issues that this clinician could treat. Anxiety, depression, trauma, grief, LGBTQIA plus issues, relationships, couples, individuals, families, like all that page does when you have a single services page, actually it does 2 things. It doesn't do one thing and it does do another. It doesn't get you ranking on Google for any of those services. Google is basically passing right over you. Like, you're not an expert in anything. And guess what? It's watering down your expertise in the eyes of your clients as well. If I land on a page and all it has is a laundry list of what you can do, I don't view you as an expert in any one of those things. You probably are. I believe that you are an expert in some of those areas. I do. I really do. I know clinicians struggle with the idea of claiming expertise. You bring something to the table in maybe all of those, but when it's just presented as a laundry list, you are hurting yourself in your marketing. So instead of that laundry list, we want to have individual specialty pages. And I want to walk you through what that process is. Before I do that, let's make sure that I've covered any questions here. Let's see. Danielle has, okay, Danielle, you have some good kind of like global questions that I'm going to do at the end. I just want to make sure that we are hitting on, we're feeling good about home, about FAQs and contact, which it looks like we are. And then Danielle, I'll hit these questions. Those are good ones as we wrap up. All right. Your specialty pages. Your specialty pages are so critical. And this is what I share with a done for you client when we're sitting down and kicking off together and mapping these out. I say to them, your specialty pages have two functions. One, they are your number one Google opportunity. I am most likely, other than searching your name, I am most likely to find your website organically by searching for one of your specialties and landing on one of your specialty pages. So we have to ensure that whatever pages you are creating under specialties, you are aligning with what your ideal client is typing into Google. So if you specialize in complex PTSD and your client has no idea what that is and never comes in recognizing that they have trauma, you can make a complex PTSD page all you want. Your client isn't typing that in. And so your client is never, someone might find that page, but it won't be your ideal client. So we really have to sink down into the shoes of your clients to make sure that we are meeting them at their point of awareness and their point of need with these specialty pages. So they're your number one Google opportunity. There's lots of strategy behind that, but the main thing I want you to know when we are thinking about your sitemap, when we're thinking about the topics of these pages, is that they have to be what your client thinks they need help with. CPTSD is a great example. We have an entire training on attracting relational trauma clients. Type in relational trauma to the search bar if you want to find that one. But we have to make sure that we're using the language that your clients are. If your clients have trauma, never know it, and call it anxiety, guess what? You need an anxiety page, not a trauma page. So we have to sink down into the shoes of your clients. So that's the first thing, that they're your number one Google opportunity. The other thing about your specialties is when you hold in your mind the different types of clients that you serve, because you have an ideal client, but they take on different flavors, right? You have different focus areas, you have different sort of niche areas. When you hold all those clients in your mind, every single one of them needs to see themselves in at least one of these specialties. So the topics that you choose need to cover the range of clients that you serve and the range of work that you like to do. So if you're someone who enjoys variety in your caseload, amazing. Your specialty pages is where you get, to highlight that and you get to focus on that. So we need to make sure that every single client you serve, maybe you love working with, I always do this. I'm like, start an example that I didn't plan on. Maybe you love working with first responders, people with relationship issues individually, and couples. We need to have a page for every single one of those groups. If the main sort of theme of your practice is anxiety, and so maybe you have a phobias page, maybe you have an OCD page, but you do also technically see clients or see couples and want to continue doing that, we need a couples page. Every single one of the different flavors of clients you see need to see themselves in at least one of these pages. So that's the main criteria for specialties. One, they are meeting our clients at their point of awareness and aligning with what our clients are typing into Google. And I'm going to give you some examples of how to do that. And two, it needs to cover the breadth of the work that you do. So the range of clients that you see, they need to be able to see themselves in at least one. They might be multiple. They might fall into multiple, and that's okay. But they need to fall into at least one specialty page. Alrighty, now how do you figure that out? You are sitting currently as a clinician on a gold mine of marketing goodness. And that gold mine are intake forms. Intake forms are incredible. You probably right now can sit and close your eyes and call to mind some of the ideal clients that you would just love to replicate. If you could clone them and have a full caseload of those handful of clients, like life would be so good. Go back and look at those intake forms. The reason we look at intake forms is because that is giving us the best glimpse into where this client was when they decided to reach out to you. It's not who they became 6 months later. It's not the level of insight and awareness they had into their relational trauma 12 months after starting working with you. Is where they were when they decided to reach out to you. And that is where your marketing has to be focused. Your marketing has to be focused pre-working with you, pre-insight, right? So those intake forms are going to show you exactly the language that those clients are often using to describe why they're here. You probably have some sort of question on the intake form, like what's led you to seek therapy? What are some of your goals for therapy? That language is going to point you to what this client actually thinks they need help with. You're going to see things like, I'm anxious. My relationships are struggling. Maybe they might use past trauma. I've experienced a loss. I'm going through change. Um, I am wanting to understand the deeper kind of roots behind things. Whatever that is, you are sitting on a gold mine of client-friendly marketing language. Because guess what? You can take that language and put it straight into your marketing. They've done the writing and the research for you. So what I'm going to recommend for you here as you're deciding what specialty pages to have is I want you to go look at those intake forms and I want you to categorize what you're seeing there. Oh, okay. So some of these guys really are falling into anxiety bucket. I'm hearing some really OCD specific things, and that's an area of specialty for me. A couple of my clients are actually seeking out a modality. Interesting. Okay. So start categorizing those ideal clients. Go back and look at their intakes. Start categorizing the challenges that have brought them to therapy. That is going to lead you to determining probably 2 to 4 specialty page topics. That might be anxiety, again, relationships, couples, trauma, religious trauma. It might be specific, it might be a little bit more broad. But you're going to land on about 2 to 4 specialty topics. And those are likely going to be kind of presenting issues. What they also can be is a demographic of some kind. So again, as you're looking at your intake forms, you might realize this person is talking all about motherhood related issues. We need a mom's page. Or these are parents seeking support for their teens page. So they might be presenting issues. They can also be demographics, but that's usually what those specialty page topics are going to be focused on because those are the things that clients think to type into Google. Therapy for teens. Absolutely. Therapy for anxiety, relationship counseling, whatever that is. So 2 to 4 specialties that are aligned with either a presenting issue or a demographic. And then optionally, you might have a handful of method pages. Now, 5 years ago, when I started doing this work with clients, it was so rare that we were writing method pages for clinicians, simply because, again, if our specialty pages, which methods fall under, are supposed to be what clients are looking for, it just their clients might have known what CBT was, they might have heard of EMDR, but they weren't seeking that out actively. That's changed in the last 3 years, I would say. That has really, really changed. Now clients are out looking for brain spotting. They are out looking for EFT. They're out looking for relational life therapy, whatever that is. And so that points us to the fact that maybe you need a handful of method pages. That you might have one, you might have two. So again, if you're looking at your intake forms and you're reflecting on the conversations you often have with clients early on, are they coming in asking for a method? Then that is a really great indication that you need a page specific to that method on your website as well. So that if I come in curious or interested in EMDR, there's a place for me to learn about that, to recognize that you are specializing in it and to reach out to you. So you may or may not choose method pages. I would say probably 50% of the clients that we work with end up with some sort of method page. Those topical and demographic specialties are like the bread and butter. The methods are like a cherry on top. And keep in mind, you can always add these. If you're working on your website right now and you're like, and you've given me so many pages to write, like you don't have to do these all at once. But that's the process to go through when it comes to sort of the topics. So now that you have your topics, those are your pages, and you're going to write a page for each one, a page for anxiety, a page for teens, a page for EMDR. These are your specialty pages. And again, if we lay all those out and we look at all of those together, your like gut check is, do all of my clients fall into at least one of these categories? If the answer is yes, then we have a really, really solid sitemap here that is going to A, connect with clients. It's going to give them a place to go. It's going to help them feel seen and heard by you. And B, it's going to be very, very Google friendly, because we can rest assured that if we are aligning entire pages to things that we know people are looking for, then these are offering us a whole bunch of SEO opportunity and the ability to get traffic to those pages from Google. So that's our process there. So review those intake forms, categorize those challenges and those demographics into 2 to 4 specialty pages. Consider having a handful, 1, 2, maybe 3 method pages, depending on sort of the psycho awareness of your clients and what they're coming in asking for. And then go ahead and create a page for each one. So again, let's return to the menu at the top of your website: home, about, FAQs, specialties, which will be a drop down of your different specialty pages that we've talked about here. If you have a whole bunch, sometimes you can split it into specialties and method. If you have multiple method pages, you can sometimes do that. And then contact. That is the base for a client converting and Google friendly website. It is what we continue to see be super, super effective for clients. You'll notice that all of this is plain language. We are not being cute or kitschy. There are limited number of items in this menu. It's not cluttered. It's simple, and it's focused on what this client thinks they need right now, because that's where your marketing has to meet them, is where they are today, not where they're going to be 6 months from now after they've done great work with you, but where they are today. That's what a good sitemap will do. If you're sitting here and you're like, great, Anna, that's really awesome. What do I do with all that? I'm glad you asked. Our Fill Your Practice formula is our DIY marketing program. It includes fill in the blank templates for your homepage, your about page, your specialty pages. Confident Copy is our marketing mentorship program, where we go deep into these things. We're going to walk you through the SEO research to figure this out. We're going to walk you through the frameworks for writing specialty and methods. And then, of course, we have our Squarespace templates. So if you're like, I think I can write the content, but how do I lay it all out? All of our templates, if you go look at one of our templates, guess what? They have this menu. They have this sitemap in them. Those were created to make it easy to go ahead and stand these pages up. So lots of options to help you if that's something that you're needing. But ultimately, what I want you to know is that you are capable of doing this, and it will take some work. This copywriting takes work, but when you do it right, not only do you connect with these clients in a really, really deep way and display that level of understanding and connection that they're looking for, but you make it easy to reach out to you, and you increase your chances of getting those clients through Google, which is, hello, free marketing. Don't we all want that? So that is our process for outlining a client converting site. The pages that you need, the pages that you don't need. We got some good questions here. All right, let's dive in. So Danielle wants to know, is a blog needed, or just one of those things you can if you want to? If you want to express your expertise more or add SEO, but won't make or break your ranking. Blogging is a powerful, powerful marketing strategy. Do you have to blog to be effective? Do you have to blog to have a full fee caseload? No. So if that aligns with your energy, if that aligns with what your clients resonate with, if that aligns with your expertise and your bandwidth, great. Is it critical to rank on Google? No. Is it critical to get clients? No. It's one of those optional strategies to sort of add on top of your marketing. Having a website, I'm assuming you need to have a privacy policy, terms and conditions, notice of privacy policies. Since you shouldn't copy someone else's, where's a good place to get this written for your website? Good question. So a privacy policy and a disclaimer. I always get these confused. Privacy policy and disclaimer are technically by law required on your website. If you're collecting any sort of information, aka contact form, aka analytics on your website, you need to have those. A disclaimer is, a terms and conditions is best practice. I've heard people get these from all over the place. Since these are technically legal things, I'm someone who likes to dot my I's and cross my T's. So there are templates out there that you can purchase that are attorney reviewed. Give that a quick Google. There are also generators out there that are free or close to it. I've also heard people asking ChatGPT. I tend to not ask ChatGPT for anything legally, but those are a couple places you can start. All right, Derek, help teens, college students, and parents in navigating these years of multiple changes, but I also have interests that are different, multiple specialty pages, it seems, but how to address on the homepage. Derek, good question. Derek is in Confident Copy. So Derek, I'm going to tell you that we're going to get into that together as you get into writing your homepage. But this is a good question. When you have all these different specialty pages and maybe they feel disparate from one another, your homepage and your about page still need to be speaking to all of those different people. That is a fine balance to strike in your copy. And that's really where your red thread, and if you're not familiar with that language, I can provide some good resources around that, but that's where the kind of the theme of your practice is going to come through. So my recommendation, if you haven't yet, is to take our free niche quiz. That's going to help you start to figure out what your red thread is. walkerstrategyco.com/niche-quiz. Your red thread is what is going to be the main message of your home and about. So Derek, we're going to get there together. But if you're also wondering that, take the niche quiz or join us in Confident Copy. But either way, the theme of that ties together all of your clients, that's what you're going to be highlighting when you're writing your home and about. Lane, is it okay to have 5 specialty pages? It is, Lane. For most solo clinicians, 2 to 5 is the sweet spot. Not to say that you can't have more. When you have a lot of specialty pages, it can feel like it's watering down your expertise a little bit, but it's also better to have more content than less, especially if you have those kind of distinct areas of specialty. So I wouldn't be concerned with 5. Awesome. Danielle said, we love a red thread. Confident Copy is great. Thank you. Thank you, Danielle. Yeah. So Derek, I'm excited to see this kind of flesh out with you guys. So, all right, that's what I had for you today. I hope that this was helpful, that this was actionable. Home, about, FAQs, specialties, contact. When you have those, you're setting yourself up for success on your website. Remember, this website can always evolve. You can always add content. You can always modify content. You don't have to tackle it all at once. But if you're sitting here thinking about your website, maybe for the very first time, I do recommend that you prioritize a multi-page site that follows this outline to truly set you up for that long-term success. So thanks for being here with me live today, guys. Lane, thank you. Happy that you were here. If you're catching the replay, glad you carved out a little bit of time for this. I hope it was helpful for you as well. And if there's ever anything more that we can do to help, you know where to find us. Have a great weekend.